So one of the very first things you want to do when writing an informational text is to actually create a lead. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today is how do you write what we call a lead in an informational text. So if you look at the informational checklist, the rubric we gave you guys for informational writing, you'll notice that one of the criteria is to write a lead. And if you look at the description of how to write a lead, it actually breaks it down into two different categories. So if you look on your screen, you'll see that I've underlined the first part in red. It says, I interested the reader in the topic by explaining its significance or providing a compelling fact, statistic, or anecdote. Sorry about that. That's what we call a hook. All right, and we'll talk more about what a hook is in a little bit. But the second part is what we call the preview. And it says in its description, I made it clear what parts of this topic this text will tackle and how the text will unfold. So you can see the lead is made up of two parts. The hook, which grabs the reader's attention. We want to put that in there first so that they don't, get bored and leave us right away. And then the preview, which is letting the reader know what the text is all about, kind of giving them a heads up as to what they're going to learn. So let's break it down. Let's talk about the hook first. The hook is when you grab that reader's attention, and we want to do this immediately. So you don't want to wait to do that, otherwise your reader's going to leave you and get bored. So the way you do this is you give them either a compelling fact, a compelling statistic, or a compelling question or anecdote. You can do any one or a combination of these. So let me show you what that might look like. Here's an example of a hook that I got from Time magazine. The article is titled, Got Milk? India Does. And this article I think does a really nice job of showing you how to use an anecdote, which is a short, small story, to kind of get you emotionally connected with what you're going to read about, and it piques people's interest. So if you look on your screen, I'll read a little bit to you. Almost every busy neighborhood market in New Delhi has one. The trademark blue Mother Dairy stand, where rickshaw drivers and housewives fresh from the salon stop in for a plastic bag of full cream milk, a strawberry lassi, or a pack of ghee, the clarified butter used in Indian cooking. A generation ago, the land where the cow is sacred had a scarcity of milk, but since 1970, India's milk production has risen from 22 million tons to more than 130 million today, making it the world's largest producer and a dairy exporter. So you can see in this text, they start off with a little story. This story kind of helps you to picture what this is like in India. So you can see they're describing what it's like to be in New Delhi, to see the rickshaw drivers and the housewives that just had their hair done, carrying bags full of groceries. So they get you emotionally connected, and they kind of engage your senses. And this is a great example of an anecdote. I think this author also ends with a compelling fact or statistic. If you look, they give you the numbers, 22 million tons of milk, and now it's up to 132 million today, which is something that many readers might find interesting. So that's one example of a hook. I have a second one for you, and this is from Time magazine as well, and you can see the article's titled, Why China Can't Create Anything. So you can look at this, you can even pause your screen and check this out on your own. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but what I like about this is they use a combination of these techniques. They give you lots of compelling questions to get you thinking right off the bat, and then they throw a bunch of compelling statistics and facts at you to really show you how important this topic is, to explain its significance. So if I were you, I'd pause your screen right now and read through that and identify those parts of this hook. Alright, so hopefully you paused your screen and noticed that they did give you those two compelling questions at the beginning, and then they threw some facts at you to really show you how important this issue is. This is one way you could write your hook. Obviously you're not going to be writing about China, but you can apply this knowledge to your own informational writing. Alright, so let's talk about the preview. That's the second part of your lead. After you give your hook, after you've got your reader's attention, you want to give them a taste of what they're about to read. So what you want to do is just, if you kind of think of like if you've ever seen a movie trailer, like you've seen on TV, they show commercials for, to get you to watch the movies. This is pretty much what the preview is. You're really just going to give the reader a flavor, a little taste of what they're going to get into in the text. You don't want to give away everything. You don't want to list fact after fact after fact here. What you really want to do is paraphrase the most important parts of your text. So if you look at your body paragraphs, for example, or your sections of your text, you might notice they each have one big main idea. Those are the big main ideas you want to give in your preview. Okay? So that's what a preview is. So if we put it all together, that's what creates our lead. When we start with our hook, we get their reader's attention. We do that right away, and then we finish off with a preview, or we give them a taste of what they're about to read about. That becomes our lead. You have to put both of those together to have a successful lead. All right.